Matthew Cassell, that was something came to mind. That's sort of not prepared, but I was thinking about a few years ago, back in one of the infamous windstorms of the winters in Bellingham. I have one of those 6-foot high fences along the side of my yard, and it blew over. And prior to that, I'd know my neighbors just by waving to them over the top of the fence as we walked out to get our bikes to go to work or whatever. And I never really got to know them too well. And it was just interesting that when the windstorm blew the fence over, I told my neighbor, I said, you know, it's probably going to be about number 5 on my to-do list of things to get to around the house. And he said to me, you know what, I don't mind if you ever replace that fence. So I guess what came to mind was the barriers that we took down, and now we've really engaged a lot more in knowing one another. And I think that's symbolic of on a global level of what we need to do. We need to take down the barriers, I think, that are keeping one another from building the community, whether it's on a local scale or on a global scale. I think it's pretty interesting. Again, we're all alike, and we really have very little difference once you get to know the people amongst us that have these things that are not like us. So the point is, with Sustainable Bellingham, we're trying to build community just for the different projects that we're working with. Just this morning, we do bike repair up at the farmer's market. A few weeks ago, we took that a step further. We went out to the Lighthouse Mission just to help do bike repair for a lot of the residents over there. And it's amazing how just a tiny difference. I mean, you think about it on the global scale, all of us, we all do a small part, but on a global level, I think it makes a tremendous difference. If all of us like-minded people do these things, I think we are going to make a huge difference, even though individually we really can't do a whole lot, but I think together we can do a tremendous amount. And it's amazing how you can just chew someone's tire down at the Mission, and suddenly their bike is rideable. And I had a guy come up to me on the street. He's a guest there. He said, "Thanks so much. Now he can ride his bike to his job." Little things like that make a big difference, in my opinion, at least. And through supporting the alternative transportation, I think basically you can come down to the fact that we live in an environment or a world with diminishing resources and increasing people. So I think we have to build up our, I guess you could say, defense mechanisms as to how things are going to work in this as the planet continues to change. We are looking too to put an alternative fueling station up on Cornwall. The tentative place right now, we're looking to sell some biodiesel. We're working with Whole Energy Fuels Corp, a local Bellingham distributor of biodiesel, to put a facility up there across from the school. Just different projects like that we're doing. We had the garden parties that we did this summer. Sometimes we had a handful of people. Other times we had 20 people that would come to people's houses. We'd actually turn their yards into gardens. We'd build raised beds, plant fruit trees, things along those lines. That was a lot of fun, actually. And again, that was community building. I don't know a whole lot about gardening, and people used to think I was some sage or something like that. And no pun intended. But I really learned a lot through gleaning this information off of these people. Bellingham has a tremendous wealth of knowledge that I was able to glean this information from people. And you know, grass clippings, as they say, are the nation's largest agricultural product that we generate, and they really don't have a whole lot of use, yet they have a tremendous drain on our resources. They impact our water supply, our fisheries. So we've got to deal with a lot of these issues like that. What better than to grow your own food? I mean, I always say people are always playing this Farm Bill game on Facebook. It's like, why can't you play real Farm Bill in real life and raise real chickens and grow your own potatoes and cabbage and things along those lines? So that's another project too. We predominantly support urban agriculture. We've done a seed swap for 3 years running over on Commercial Street, where they've been really, really well attended. And again, we've had some of the great speakers of Bellingham, the very knowledgeable people in agriculture that have come in and taught things along those lines. I do have to pull my list out because I invariably forget things. No, I think, and one last thing too, you know, in these times we do have to not forget about ourselves. So we took the month of July and August off, and we really didn't have anything planned for Sustainable Bellingham. So we said, why don't we have yoga? And so we've had these yoga in the parks classes, which have been tremendous. Actually, we've been to Boulevard Park, Broadway Park, Cornwall Park, Elizabeth Park. Next week we're going to be up at Wacom Falls Park. And it's an hour and a half free yoga class. And then we share a community meal with each other. So everyone brings something. I happen to be bringing the Texas fudge brownies from the food co-op, which are just to die for, but I won't go there. And the thing, just again, it's so many times you may go to a yoga class, you say hi, you say bye to people, but it's just nice to meet like-minded people by doing these different projects. And the same thing with the garden parties that I talked about. We would have the host, that was the one stipulation, the host would have to prepare a meal for us. So, and everybody came together after you gardened for an hour and a half or so. We all came together and got to know one another. And I think that was tremendous fun, the things that we've done along those lines. So generally, that's it. I mean, we're like I said, like one of the many nonprofits in Bellingham, just trying to make a difference. And I think it's nice to be part of this, and I'm proud to be part of this community. I thought there was one other thing I was going to say, but oh yeah, our one mantra too is no more than one meeting per event. So we don't want to get bogged down in meetings. It's pretty funny if you've ever been to some organizations. I mean, they all make a tremendous difference, but we want it to be more action oriented. We don't want to be mired in meetings and a lot of administrative, you know how it goes. So I guess I should end on a positive note, so let me think about it. But at any rate, I guess that's all I have to say. This is again, this is a tremendous community. I'm really proud to be part of this community, and I think in the position that we're in right now, I really feel very favorable about the future. I mean, we have to look at it. An author, and I've heard him speak a few times. He's out of Portland, Oregon. His name is Sharif Albasadi, I think. It's something along those lines, but he's a really incredible speaker. And I heard him speak here in Bellingham and down on Bainbridge Island. And one of his parts, one of his quotes from his book, to paraphrase it, he talks about, don't look at this changing world with a state of despair. We're seeing the breakdown of a lot of different systems, whether it's ecologically, politically, socially. We seem to be seeing a lot of breakdown of these things on the planet. Don't look at it in despair. Look at it as an opportunity for us to rebuild it how we want to rebuild this. So there's tremendous opportunity out there. And I think, again, we're in the right place right here. So I'm glad to be part of this community. Thank you.